everyone. Today's video is a new type of video, and I'm going to apologize right up front because it's my first time doing this, and well, it's probably going to get messy because it's my first time doing this. So one of the requests that I got recently was for a sort of a wrap-up video for the month. And I thought, well, I would love to do that if that was something that my viewers wanted. And since this came from a viewer who obviously wanted it, I'm like, okay, well, I'll give this a shot. So here it is, me giving it a shot. Okay, so I'm going to do a wrap up for October 2022. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you an overall wrap up. For me personally, just a little bit of one personally. You can kind of get to know me. I'll tell you about some stuff going on that, maybe you'd want to know about. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the different boxes I got in October. And then I'm going to follow that up with the books that I read for the month. So I'm hoping that you'll find some new reads that you'll be able to share in the joy of reading with me. All right, so let's kind of get started. October, October 2022. That was a very busy month for me. I had a lot of highs, a lot of lows. It was a roller coaster over the month. October is typically a busy month for me because I have two of my children's birthdays are in October, excuse me, and my anniversary is in October, and my parents' anniversary is also in October. Plus, we have Halloween. So we always have a bunch of stuff going on. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about it, but like I said, we had some highs and we had some lows. It was a roller coaster of the month. And looking back on it, I'm like, thank God for God. I'm telling you, because the highs are great, but those lows, that's when you really need him. And that is actually, when we see him the most active in our lives is typically in the lows. Why? Because we're usually paying more attention to him at that point. So October 2022 marked my 20th anniversary with my husband, one of the highs. So we actually went on a couple of day trip to Bloomington, Indiana, which was just a few hours away from where we live. We stayed in a renovated church. It was awesome. The church was built in the 1800s. I think it was the 1800s. It was serviced the community in the 1800s. I know that's a long time frame, but I don't remember the details of when specifically it was in the 1800s. But it was completely, so the outside's this little church, and then the inside was completely renovated into like a studio Airbnb. So if you follow me on Instagram at Lorraine Nunley, that's LORAINENUNLEY. I have posted pictures over there of our trip, which includes this renovated church. So it was just great. It was just great. It was a nice time to recharge our batteries. And yeah, so that was one of the highs. Another high that I had, which I'm just going to kind of mention, for anybody who's interested, is that I have a finished manuscript that I am currently editing and polishing, and I pitched it to some agents at a conference a couple of months ago. And in October, I actually got a request back from an agent for the full manuscript. So I am working on getting that polished to a point where I can send them a really beautiful finished copy of it. Having said that, the reason I kind of point that out there is because I will be looking for beta readers. So if anyone's interested in that, just kind of follow me on social media, and I will have probably a form on my website at some point in November requesting readers. You can sign up there. So if you have me interested, you want to help a new author out, I'm really going to be looking for feedback on the storyline and all of that. So readers, writers, anybody who's interested, just be on the lookout for that. Okay, so now that's my personal stuff. Wow, that was way longer. I'm sorry for chatting your ear off. Okay, so what I want to tell you about after that is this is part of my reading, like my I guess, my reading habit of the day. And my reading habit of the day is that I do several things, but the first thing that I do every day after my exercising is one of my Bible studies. This Bible study, if you're familiar with any of my videos, is from the She Reads Truth subscription service. This particular one is Amen and Amen. In October, I finished one on Revelation, and it was very informative. I love reading the Bible because it's a living book, and I always get, no matter how much I've read through it, I still get things new to me. I still have different perspectives. There's still nuggets in there that I love getting. And it's the same thing here. I got my lovely colored pen, and I just started this. So I've got my notes this time in orange. And so I always start my day with that. This is a box that I am not currently subscribed to, but I do recommend them. The only reason I stopped subscribing, I paused it basically because I just have too many studies. I take my time going through them. I don't get through them as quickly as they are set up for. So like if it's set up for 2 weeks to go through it, usually I don't do the study every day. I do them regularly, but I have days when I'm not doing it. So it'll take me 3 weeks sometimes, 3-4 weeks to get through a 2-week one. So I had a stack of them, which is why I paused the subscription. When I get through those, I will go back to that. Okay, and then another thing I want to share with you is, as I've gotten older, I have really, you think about your mortality as you get older. As my children grow, they become independent. They're starting their lives with their significant others. I think about what kind of legacy I want to leave behind for my family. And my father is still alive. My mother passed away, just over 20 years ago. And there are things I would love to be able to ask her now, things that she would have known as she was getting into her older age that I would really have loved to ask her about. So my dad, when he comes, I pick his brain. I ask him all kinds of questions. I ask him family history questions. I ask him things that he might be able to tell me about my mom when she was my age. And so having said that, one of the things I came across was these journals. There are a bunch of different ones. This is one particular one, and it's basically a journal that gives you questions to answer. So this is My Mother's Life, Mom, I Want to Know Everything About You. And it's different questions. Like this one says, what was your sense of purpose? What motivated you to get up in the morning? There was, who is someone you felt envious of and why? As you can see, I've been working on it. I fill out a question every day. Oops, I see that I missed one. How did I miss one? I got to go back. Page 63. I'm going to write that down so I know to go back. Okay, so basically it's things like, from when you were a child, when you were a baby, what types of memories you had. And so these are things that I am writing down so that my children can go back and look at these things. And if I don't share all of this, they can go back and find this later when I'm gone. All right, so then I typically have a book that is somewhat of a it can be a nonfiction read, or I've been kind of thinking about doing a children's book series, and because of that I've been reading some children's books. So in October I was doing some of my children's book reading, but I had a internet friend just come out with this book, which I purchased in October. I just got started with it. I met Hope Bullinger at a writer's conference. She is currently an agent, but she's also been actually, no, I think she's currently in the publishing business. Yeah. But she's been on the agent side, the editor side, the reader side. And then I know Carrie Schmidt, if any of you are familiar with her as a reader influencer. Her website is Reading is My Superpower. Carrie is a very sweet lady, and she is highly influential in Christian fiction, and she's got her hands in all kinds of pies, building authors up. She does reviews, she does giveaways, She works with a publicity company, and now she's doing, as a reader influencer, this Getting Past the Publishing Gatekeepers. So if any of you are budding authors, or even if you're actually an author and you're looking for a way to break into the publishing, or get past the gatekeepers, these 4 people who are in these different roles, they tell you how to do that. So that's my nonfiction for this month, which is a great time for me because I'm trying to get my foot in the door for the publishing. So, all right. So then I always have my fiction read. Now, my fiction read right now, which I just started at the end of October, is Drawn by the Current by Jocelyn Green. This is the 3rd book in the Windy City saga. And that's going to actually take me into my reviews. So, well, I guess I'll do my reviews first and then I'll come back to my boxes. So I'm going to start with my reviews in October. In October, I finished Shadow of the White City, which is the 2nd book in the Windy City saga by Jocelyn Green. And this has been an interesting series because the 1st book in the series was shortly after the Civil War. It was about 2 sisters. They were dealing with their father having, well, what we would now call post-traumatic syndrome. Back then it was called Soldier's Heart, which I didn't know anything about. It's a historical romance, a Christian fiction, and it was very good. And then, most series go like right away, one right after the other, time-wise, or they're like a few months to a couple of years. This one is actually about 20 years later, and we focused on one sister in the 1st book. We're focusing on the 2nd sister here, Sylvie. I loved Sylvie in the 1st book. This book I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only thing I really, really, really loved her love interest, Kristoff. What a great guy. I just loved him. He was a great hero. She has a daughter in this book, and the daughter was 17 and irritating to me, just very irritating. That's the only reason why I had to drop it a 0.5 star, because I really could not stand her most of the time when she showed up in the book. So Kristoff kind of evened her out. But it was a nice romance. I have a full review up on my website at LorraineNunley.com. You can check that out there for yourself. The older daughter, her sister, has a daughter, and so 20 years later we get to her story. That's in this one that I'm currently reading. So I will leave a review on my website when I get done with that. Now, the other reviews that I've done, let's see, this is the bad thing of having ebooks, because I can't really, I did 3 reviews this month for Blog Tours, and so I got electronic copies, and I don't have the covers of the books. I wish I did so I could show you, because, well, the one cover I'll tell you about is just beautiful. Okay, so this one here, I don't know why it's got this like negative picture of one of the authors. It's just weird. I don't know why. But the first book that I'm going to talk about is The Danger with Diamonds. And this was by Tracy Hunter Abramson and Cyan and Bessie. Last year, they worked with 2 other authors to write a Falcon Point, Heirs of Falcon Point. That was a suspense book. It started off as it gave you some historical background on the family, and that was like a quarter of the book. And then it went into present day as a suspense with 3 cousins from the family and their inheritance from Falcon Point. Great suspense. One thing that's really cool about the book, that particular book, is it was written by 4 different authors, and each author basically took a set of characters. So you would not know by reading it that it was written by 4 different authors. It was really good. So when they came out with, well, everybody liked it so much that they're like, give us a sequel. And so they did. So 2 of the authors, Abramson and Bessie, they came out with this Danger with Diamonds. And the Danger with Diamonds is the third of there were 3 cousins. technically four cousins, but one were brother and sister. So there were four heirs. So this one is about the brother of one of the girls in the first book. He was not a major player in the first book. Now this is his story. And then one of the cousins, a guy, he was in the first book, but there wasn't a romance attached to him. There was a romance attached to the other two women in it. So we get his story here. It is a great suspense. It's diamonds. People are stealing diamonds. So it's very interesting. It's pretty fast paced. I love romantic suspense, particularly when it is done well balanced. And this was actually pretty well balanced. I loved it. Again, you could not tell. I don't know how they wrote it, if they each took characters or if they just did collaborative writing, but you really can't tell that it's written by two people rather than one. Can't remember. I rated that pretty high. I can't remember if it was a 4.5 or a 5-star review, but again, that is on my website. You can check it out there in my reviews. Okay, and then the next book that I'm going to talk about is this one here. It's Benton Sport. Benton Sport, which was a Christmas story, is by Lisa Schnedler. This one is a Christmas story, and it's a time travel Christmas story. Basically, we start off in the past. We've got a gentleman who travels through time, and most of the story is set in the future for him in the future. And he falls in love in the present time, and it's just a nice Christmas romance. I did think that it was a nice romantic story. I liked that. I'm one of those people that it was time travel, and I was like, okay, so I have questions. How did this happen? And how does he get back? How does that happen that he gets back? And I won't spoil it for you, but I will say that the ending was a little abrupt for me. I thought that it was abrupt, and I was like, wait a minute, I have questions. So I had unanswered questions. So that one kind of got knocked down a little bit. I think that was a 3.5 stars for me. Again, that one is on my website. And then, well, let me get back to my menu here. And then this one is The Bookshop of Secrets. Excuse me, should have brought water. The Bookshop of Secrets is by Molly Rushmeyer. I know Molly. I had the privilege of working with her on a reader's blog. She is very sweet. She's just, I was really impressed by just the genuineness and sweetness that I got from her just in our interactions through that blog that we did together. This is her debut novel, and she's written it for Harlequin. It's under their Love Inspired trade paperbacks, which if you follow my videos, you know that I've done some unboxings for their trades. I wish that I had been subscribed to that when her book came out, because then I'd have an actual copy to show you. It is such a cool cover. It is it's this woman who goes to a bookstore looking for answers. She got an inheritance from her mother of these classic books, and she was looking for some other books that her mother left her to answer some questions, to give her some details about her past, to help her move forward in life. And anyway, so the cover is this woman. You see her back, and she's looking over her shoulder, kind of down, not quite at the camera, but looking over her shoulder, and she's in this bookshop. And well, you had me at books. I loved the cover. I wish I could have gotten a actual physical copy of this, but I got the e-copy and I was excited to read it. Wow, it was a great debut novel. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I think because I've read so many debut authors who haven't done enough of a job getting the writing craft down, that their first works aren't really that great, that I get surprised when there are debut novelists who actually, hit the nail on the head. And I feel that she did. It was just a great romance. I loved her interaction with, get this, her name's Hope. His is Ronin. I'm like, Ronin. I love that. It's not a historical, and yet it would, because it's contemporary romance, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. It's like got that historical feel to it. Nice, strong, you know. But their interactions were great. I especially loved Ronin in this. They kind of go on a little bit of a treasure hunt, and so I rated that pretty high. I think that was about a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Again, that review is on my website for you to check that out. Okay, so I did a lot of reading on my Kindle this month, and I don't usually do that, but because I had so many of those blog tours, and that's how you get the books typically with the blog tours now, I was forced to have to do that. I have so many hard copies of the books, I really need to push to get through them. All right, so then the last thing I want to talk about is I just want to talk a little bit about the different boxes that I received in October. And I don't really have a whole lot pulled out to show you. I am going to show you one of my favorite subscription boxes is the Sticky subscription service. It's the stickers, and it's you get some stationery, you get 6 to 7 sticker sheets, and it's $13 a month. It is inexpensive. The stickers are great quality. The price is good. They're cute because I get the cute ones. And this is my A5 planner. Now, if you follow those videos and you see every month you get an insert, and the insert fits an A5 planner. So I'm going to show you that right here. These aren't them. These are them here. And you can see it says Sticky right here. I think maybe you can read it. I don't know. Anyway, so I've got some of my stickers stored in here. This is some of the stationery. These were tags. These were washi tape. And then I've just got different stickers. I got quite a lot of them. And I got my Pusheen ones in the back. So I got my October one, which was all about Halloween. Loved it. So here's the list of the things I got in October. I did a fall Pusheen box, which you can see if you're not familiar with Pusheen. Here's Pusheen, the fat cat. I love Pusheen, and I love the boxes. Those boxes are quarterly. I do recommend them. I also unboxed. I'm gonna talk about the non-book boxes first. I unboxed a purchase from Fahlo, Fahlo, and that is a animal tracking jewelry. Basically, they're bracelets where you can track different animals. I had purchased one for my daughter for her birthday. It was a shark one. Loved the quality of it. I got a coupon for a free set, which included a turtle one where I can follow a turtle. And I found they had a subscription service, so I've signed up for that. So you'll see future videos of that as well. So I mentioned Sticky. Another one that I reviewed this month was Kiwi Eco. Kiwi Eco is, they're a box where they're trying to do zero waste. They promote zero waste. And I love the idea of that. The October box wasn't really that impressive to me, but I decided that was my second box. The first one was good. The second one was okay. But the third one, the preview I got of the third one makes me think I might like that one a little better than the October one. So that, I like that and I got that. Okay, and that was really all of the ones that I got that were non-box or non-book box. I love my book box subscriptions. And so the book box subscriptions, so here's my list. I unboxed Prairie Fox, Harlequin Mysteries, Rooted Book Box, Aaron's Cozies Mysteries, Pretty Literate, Truly Yours, and One More Page. I will leave links to those videos so that you can check them out for yourselves. I wish I could say I had a favorite. I do. But I'm looking back on this going, well, I really like that. No, I really like that. I don't know. I can't pick. I have not actually read any of the books from any of those boxes yet, largely because I was aside from October being an extremely busy month for me, and I knew I wasn't going to get a whole lot of reading done, I also had those blog tour obligations. And so when I have those obligations, I got to set aside any other reading that I'm doing. Right now I'm trying to finish a series, and I like to read the series books, like all of a series at one time, and that's what I'm currently doing with finishing up on this one. So maybe in November's wrap up, I will have some more detail for you. And hopefully in November, I know this is a lot of me talking and not a whole lot of visual stuff, and I apologize for that. So hopefully, if you like this video, please take a moment to hit the like button down below, and also subscribe to my channel. And if you hit the notification bell, it'll let you know when I post my videos and, you know, when I'm posting things like this wrap up. Be sure that if you liked this wrap up video, or, you know, you like the idea and I'm just not quite there yet, to leave me a thumbs up. Let me know in your comments what you think. Like I said, I apologize because there's not a lot of visual going on, and it's a video. There ought to be visual, right? Perhaps you'd like to see me face to face. I don't know. Most of my videos, as you can tell, are me showing products and stuff. They're not usually me, because I figure you come here to look at the products. You're interested in the products. You're not necessarily interested in seeing my face and then not getting to see what I'm unboxing. So I don't know. You tell me what you think. We'll see. So maybe that'll be November 1. We'll see. I'll try to do a little more preemptive planning for that. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. So thanks so much for stopping by and watching. You guys are awesome. Have a great day.